This is Lauren Curry, Cydney Powell's closest confidant, her college roommate, the person who believed she knew her best. To Lauren, Cydney was familiar, trusted, ordinary. Someone she shared daily life with, someone she never feared.
This whole thing's difficult for you, and you're trying to make sense of it, and so are we. Um, so, uh, we're just talking to you about what you know, not about what you've heard or anything. Just trying to find out as much as we can, so we can, kind of make sense of this ourselves. So if you want a break or anything, just let us know. But why don't we start off with, tell us about Cydney. When did you first meet, and how long have you known each other?
I've known Cydney for 6 years. We met the first day of summer gym in high school, and then we were best friends ever since. Very close.
And what are you doing now?
I'm at school.
Okay, where do you go to school at?
I go to the University of Mount Union.
Okay. And what year are you in there?
I'm a sophomore. Yeah.
Now, we understand that Cydney was your roommate at Mount Union?
Yes, she was for last year and then this year until she left.
Okay. So how did that work? Did you both plan on going to Mount Union, or?
Okay. Yeah, she liked it first, and I was like, I don't know, and then I visited there, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the place to be, and then when we both got accepted, we were like, oh, we're definitely being roommates.
And so you've been friends ever since your freshman year at St. B?
Mm-hmm.
Go over each other's houses, everything like that?
Yep.
Okay. So what are you studying at Mount Union?
Education.
Education?
Yes.
And what was Cydney taking?
Well, she started off in exercise science freshman year, her first semester, but then she didn't like the classes, so she switched over to psychology and sociology, but then she didn't really like that, so this year she switched to education, and then she didn't like that either, and that's one of the reasons she left, is because she really couldn't find what she liked, so she was trying to figure it out.
So tell us about the time you spent together at Mount Union. You said that she really wasn't couldn't find something that she was interested in.
I think her most interest, was psychology, like learning about that stuff. But other than just like hanging out with her friends, like educational wise, it was kind of hard for her, I think.
Now, where did you stay at there? Where do you stay at?
Freshman year we were in a dorm room, and then this year we were in a suite, so it's like a dorm room but like two, so we lived neighbors, and we shared a bathroom.
But it's actually like Mount Union housing. It's not like a separate apartment or anything.
It's not Union housing.
So it's just you and Cydney.
Mm-hmm.
And now, were there some other groups of students that you hung around with frequently? Neighbors of yours?
Yeah. So like I said, our suite mates, which was Alyssa, who was a cheerleader with me, and then our friend Brittany, who was in like the townhouses, so she didn't live with us, but she was really close with us because she was in our sorority together, and she was also a cheerleader.
Now, was Cydney in that same sorority?
Yes.
What sorority is that?
Alpha Chi Omega.
Now, do they have a separate house on campus there, or how does that work?
So they do have a house on it, but they only have like one apartment, so you can't really like live there.
So it's Alpha Chi
Omega.
Omega?
Okay.
Yeah. And did you both join together, or how did that go?
So we both went through recruitment together, and we both did the same sorority.
What attracted you to that sorority?
The girls, the vibe that they gave off, like everything that they stood for.
And what was that? Tell us about that.
Their well, I think the girls are just really nice in general, but the philanthropy they stand for is the Domestic Violence Shelter of Alliance, and even though I've never been like in any of those like situations, I think that was a good cause.
Okay. So you didn't. There's no actual house, but everybody just belonged to the sorority, just stayed at different their dorms. Is that?
Yeah.
How often did you get together with those girls?
Every Sunday we have chapter, which is like kind of like the meetings, and so if we had events, we were with them. So anytime we had an event or on Sunday chapters. so often.
So when you first got to Mount Union, how did it go for Cydney? Did she seem to be? I mean, you mentioned that she didn't really, find a niche as far as what she wanted to study. But I mean, did she ever talk to you about her classes and how that's going, or did you share that with each other?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about classes a lot because we did homework together a lot. I think she was like I said, I think she struggled in her classes. I don't think her grades were the best, but she didn't really tell me that because I wasn't really struggling. But I think you could tell, kind of, especially at the end, that she just wasn't like doing her best. In high school, she was very like good grades and everything. So I think it was kind of a shock for her not to be like to struggle. I think a little bit.
Think it's like a steady habit thing? Because, it's a big difference from college to.
I think so because like in high school sometimes you can procrastinate a little bit, and in college you definitely can't.
So she just wasn't. Did it seem like how did this like kind of change affect her? I mean, did it affect her moods at all? Did she seem concerned about it? Or tell us about that.
I think she kept a lot of stuff hidden because when we were just talking or with our friends, she always seemed happy. Like she seemed okay. Like I said, I couldn't tell until the end when she was kind of just like struggling and she kind of was sad and just like, Lauren, I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, you just need to find what makes you happy and like just you need to find what you like to do. And I don't know. I think it did make her a little upset because she was confused. I think she felt like everybody around her kind of had figured out what they wanted to do and she hadn't. So I think that kind of affected her.
So when do you think that it really started affecting her? That like, look, this is, I'm really having problems, and this is I have to. I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth. Tell us when you think that it really started affecting her, like often.
Like her anxiety. Well, I know she's had anxiety for a while, but I think this last semester, like starting coming back in January, is when it really started. Like she was kind of more like upset because she really didn't know what she wanted to do. Like she didn't like her classes because that's when she started the education classes, and like my friends and I were worried for her because we didn't know what was going on because she wouldn't tell us, and like there was problems with like housing or something. Just like we shared a room and they like put names on the doors, and her name wasn't on it when we got back, and we were confused about that. And she said it's because they messed up because she didn't sign the forms right or something, but it kind of never got fixed. And then she left. And my friends and I were just worried because we didn't even know if she got any books for her classes. Like we were trying to ask her questions like that, and like she's like, no, I have books and I have stuff for my classes, but like I do homework all the time, and I don't think I saw her doing a lot of homework the last couple weeks. So I think this last semester, this January part when she was there, kind of affected her the most.
So had you hung out over the Christmas break?
Yeah.
And was she talking about what was she talking about then? Was she talking about the next semester, or did you guys talk about school at all?
I don't think we talked about school. Maybe living situations, because for like junior year we were talking about living in the townhouses and like what we were gonna need. So I think we were talking about living situations, but like school wise and class wise, I don't think so. Not much.
So when you came back from Christmas break, you didn't see her name on the door.
Yeah.
And when did she come back?
She came back the same day.
Same day?
Yeah.
Did you come together?
No.
Okay.
No. She came in her own car.
And so take us through again. Her name wasn't on the door.
Yeah.
And how did?
So I guess the dorm people do that?
Yeah, so the RAs do that.
Okay.
And so we were like, oh, what happened? Like, maybe you should go ask the RA, because people were asking, like, why is her name on the door? I'm like, I don't know. So she was kind of hesitant to ask the RA, so that's when we were kind of just like, what's going on? Like, my sweet mate, Alyssa, and I were asking, like, oh, what's going on? And Sydney's just said that when she signed out the forms wrong, so she was meeting with residents, like, a lot in the last couple weeks to kind of figure out, like, to get her stuff back, because then when her name wasn't on the door, her dorm key, like the thing to get into the dorm building, it stopped working. And so, but then it started working again, because she went over to Res Life, and they turned it back on. So I don't know what happened, really, but that's all she said.
So it wasn't, so when she got there, it didn't work, and then she went and talked to them.
Yeah.
And then, so is this like, so the key is the outside door, and then you have to use one for the inside door?
No, so there's kind of. There's a key card, like our Mount Union ID, and that's when you swipe in, so like you can get into the building.
Okay.
And then there's the actual key for the room. The swiper wasn't working. The key swiper wasn't working.
Okay.
So I think she just told us that she didn't fill like the housing form out. Like this, when we had to come back, we had to fill out a form saying we're coming back, and she said she signed something off wrong. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what she told us. And then she just, like I said, she met with Res Life a lot, like a couple weeks trying to get them figured out so she could, like, because she was staying, and then she ultimately decided not to stay, and so she had to return her key and stuff.
So when she got her stuff working again, how was it like day to day? I mean, was she leaving the dorm? Was she coming back?
Yeah.
And what were you thinking about that at that time?
I was confused because we've told each other everything for a long time, so I was confused in the sense I didn't know what was happening, and I was just like, she could trust me, she could tell me if something was wrong, I want to help her, but she didn't really tell us anything. Like she didn't tell Alyssa anything either, or Brittany. She did go to class, so she was leaving the building, but usually her and I were together because our classes were similar, so we'd be coming back at the same time. But I saw her use her key, but like I'd use my key too. But yeah, we were together most of the time, coming back from classes and stuff.
Did you have any of the same classes?
We had the same class, but not at the same time.
Did you actually know for sure she was actually physically in the classroom?
No, cannot say I do know that. She told us she was, and I mean she was, like, we both had French class, and she was doing her French homework with me, so I knew she was doing stuff with the same class, but I don't know if she actually was going to class.
But Cydney didn't direct her violence toward a stranger. She turned it inward, killing her own mother, Brenda Powell, beaten with an iron skillet and stabbed nearly 30 times. And as Lauren sits across from investigators, a slow and devastating realization begins to take shape. The friend she trusted, the life she thought she understood, may have been hiding something far darker than anyone ever suspected, a truth that leaves detectives shaken.
Okay. Was there any, like you mentioned Alyssa and Brittany, any other, like maybe the sorority sisters in any of her classes?
No, but she was also close to a girl named Audrey. She was in our sorority, but she was also a cheerleader. A lot of her friends were my friends because I'm a cheerleader, so she hung out with a lot of the people I hung out with.
So you don't know if she was actually ever sitting in a seat in the classroom?
I can't tell you that, no, because we had classes at the same time. And if we didn't have class at the same time, it was because I was in a class and she was in a study room because she didn't have class at that time.
What was she doing? I mean, was she at the dorm room a lot, or how can you describe for us what she was doing when she was not in class or supposed to be in class?
When she wasn't in class, if she was waiting for me, she'd wait in the study room. So like Mount Union had like rooms that you can study in. So she'd wait for me until I get out of class, and then we'd go do stuff together. But if she not, she'd be in the dorm room in her bed on her laptop.
Did you notice any change in her mood? Was she talking about anything,
or? Like, I could tell she was getting more upset, like more sad. And I told her, I was like, I'm here, like, you can tell me, I'm here for you. If you need anything, I'm here. But she never really opened up until she was leaving and saying that she was struggling with school and that she was kind of trying to figure out what was going on. And that's when I started to try to help her. And then she ultimately decided to leave, which I thought would maybe be good for her just to get her mind off the rest of the semester and then come back or go to Akron or something the next following fall semester, kind of, hoping that would help her.
So when was that night conversation? as opposed to when she left?
That conversation, maybe a week before she left, a week or so before, saying we were talking about it. We were just like, I was like, well, Cydney, I understand if you might have to take classes or summer classes. If you want to come back to Mount, I'm all for it. Like, we love you and we want you here. But like, I understand if you go home, like, my friends and I talked about this with Cydney too. But if she goes home and she just needs to go to Akron just to be at home, just to be somewhere where she can maybe try to find a new work ethic and something that makes her want to go to class, we're all for it. And she's like, I appreciate that. I really want to come back to Mount. That's like where all my friends are. That's where I want to learn, even if I'm a semester behind. That was kind of what she said.
So when did she actually leave? Can you put a day on that, something that reminds you of when she actually left?
The Tuesday before the incident. A whole week before.
A week before?
Yeah,
Is that the last time you actually saw her?
I saw her the Monday before the incident happened. That week she came back to Mount to watch The Bachelor with me and my friends at my friend's townhouse. She came over.
Did she stay where she was staying after she left, or what did you believe? Where did you believe she was staying?
She was. I thought she told us she was home. Like, she left. We watched The Bachelor, and then she left to go back home. And she texted us when she came home.
Like, I made it home?
Yeah, like she made it home.
Okay. So you think that before this happened, she'd been at the house a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she leaves about a week before the incident. Then you're thinking she's at home.
Yeah.
And then she came back to
No.
just that Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lauren, let's talk about this. You're her best friend, and I know this is difficult, but tell us about her relationship with her parents.
Her and her parents had a really good relationship. Like, her mom and her were best friends. Probably, like, they did everything together. Like, one of the reasons she went home was to be with her mom. They were always close. She never said anything bad about her mom. She never ever talked about having an argument with her mom. Like, I can't recall every time she'd be going home, she's like, I can't wait to see my mom. Or when she goes home for weekends, she'd be like, oh, my mom wants me to come home so we can hang out and like watch movies. And she loved being home. And she had a good relationship with her dad too. Like, I know that her and her dad liked to watch like Star Wars together, and he always like cooked food at the house. Like, he liked cooking, and she'd always talk about how good his food was and what they would get each other for Christmas and things about spring break. Like, she loved being home like with her family.
So when she's talking to you about the problem she's having at school, did she mention that she tried talking to her parents at all, or that they were going to have that they were involved in her future plans at all?
Yeah, I know she definitely, especially when she left, she talked to her mom about leaving. They kind of made that decision together to leave Mount. Like, she told them that. She didn't tell them for a while, but I knew when everything kind of built up, she was telling them how she was struggling with school. And then when she left, I know that was a decision between like her and her parents, kind of mutual type decision.
Now, when you say that she told them and it was like a mutual decision, is that her telling you that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that her telling you that she?
She told me that she talked to her parents and they decided that it would be best for her to just not finish the rest of the semester.
So, as far as you know, based on what Cydney was telling you, she was discussing this situation. Did you think her parents knew based on what she told you?
Hmm.
Okay.
But you never ever talked to the parents, all right?
No, I haven't seen her parents in a while.
So you last saw her, which would have been like a week before the incident, and then had she removed all her things, or did you get the impression that she was moving out at that point for good?
When she told me that Tuesday morning, we woke up and she was talking. She's like, I need to tell you something. My family and I decided that it'd be better to like take the rest of the semester off, and I have to leave today. And then she like packed up all of her stuff and kind of told all of her friends, and then she left that Tuesday with all of her stuff, all of her bedding, all of her clothes, all of her items.
And that was a Tuesday before the incident happened.
Yes. Yes.
And then she drives up to see you the Monday night before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did she say anything that day when you were watching The Bachelor, or how did that? Did you ask how she was doing, or tell us about that?
Yeah, we asked how she was doing, and she said she was good. Like, she acted like what we would see as normal. Like, she was laughing, she was having fun. She said she got jobs because she works at the Akron Rubber Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
She's worked there for a couple seasons, so she was gonna go back there. And then she also said she was looking for another job, and like everything was good, and she was trying to figure out like for next year and all this stuff. And she was gonna talk to her parents about housing, trying to come back to Mount. That was her main thing. But she seemed fine. Like, she seemed completely, like I said, she was laughing and we were goofing off and doing girl stuff and everything like that.
When she's, once you got to Mount Union, or anytime actually, did Cydney ever drink alcohol at all, or she did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just kind of describe that for us. I mean, we've all been college age, so, and
No. I don't usually like drink a lot, and if I do, it's one. But she liked to drink. There was an incident in the fall of our freshman year where she drank too much, and she wasn't alcohol poisoned, but she did end up in the hospital. And her mom came and got her at like 2 in the morning, but she did end up in the hospital that day because she drank like mixed drinks and drank too much. But usually after that, her and I were together, and if she did drink, I usually kind of like slowed her down after I knew kind of her limit because she's small. So I kind of knew her limit, but she did drink.
what situation was that in? Was it like just like a party or something, or?
I was in the dorm room watching movies because I didn't want to go out. So she went out with some other of her friends. I wasn't really close with them. I was close with one of them, but not the rest. And I got a call around like 11 saying Cydney was at a party and she was throwing up and she just wasn't good and to come pick her up. So I kind of went and got her. And then she wasn't feeling good, and so I brought her back to the dorm, and she wouldn't get out of the car, and I had guys with me trying to help, and then the RA came out, and then the RA called campus security, and the campus security called the ambulance, and then she was taken to the hospital.
Did she have any friends that like wasn't in your friend circle there, like friends that she had maybe made on her own that you're aware of?
Not really, because usually she was either in the dorm or hanging out with us or sorority girls, but I knew all the sorority girls too, that they were my friends. We had a lot of the same friends.
So her circle of friends pretty much consisted of the sorority girls that you were in and some of the cheerleaders that she met through you.
Yeah.
Had you ever seen her taking any drugs or anything, or any medications for nothing? Nothing at all?
No.
Is there anything that you know of that, did you hear from anybody else that she might have done that? Have you ever heard anything like that?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So, what is your phone number? What phone number do you have, Lauren?
330-687-2221.
You guys text a lot?
We did, yeah.
Okay.
So you mentioned an Allison?
Audrey.
Oh, I'm sorry, Audrey. Do you know Audrey's phone number off the top of your head?
No.
How about Brittany?
No. I'd have to look at my phone.
I know, you just probably keep them in contact.
Yeah.
So did you said after she left, she got all her stuff and left about a week before, what kind of contact did you have with her during that week? Did you talk to her at all over the phone?
Not really, because we kind of wanted to give her a week just to settle in with her house. We asked her how she was doing. I called her, but she didn't answer because she was in the shower. And then I texted her, and I was just making sure. I was like, oh, I just want to make sure you were okay. And then we talked a little bit, and then she asked if she could come over that Monday for the Bachelor, and I was like, oh, of course, like, we'd love to have you. Like, we want you here. And then she came over, and then she texted me I'm home, and then we'll text like videos to each other. So she sent me a video that night too, and that was kind of like the last of it.
What kind of video?
A TikTok video.
Did she have any boyfriends or any guy friends that she met at Mount Union or
Well,
back here?
we hung out with fraternity guys, and like she had the same guy friend that I did. She did have a boyfriend from about like December before break until January when she came back. They broke up.
So, it was like a month or so.
Yeah, very short.
Do you know his name?
Dom. Dominic Zappa.
Zappa?
Yeah.
So what made it break up?
He cheated on her on New Year's.
Oh, kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll make you happy.
No, yeah. So yeah, they broke up.
How did she find out that happened?
I had friends at the party that called me and told me, and then I told her.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had to break the news to her.
Yep.
Had she ever, you know, any, you mentioned that she had the drinking episode. Any kind of like breakdowns or anything, or you mentioned that, you know, she had a hard time finding out what she wanted to do, what she studied, but any like real bad episodes that you can recall, anything like that?
I mean, not bad. Like I've seen her cry, but not over like. I mean, I've seen her cry before over like just being stressed. I don't think she handled stress very well, so she cried over stuff sometimes when she got too stressed out. But other than that, not really.
The worst, I mean, how did you take the news about Dominic?
She was upset for like a while, but then she just kind of just like, it's not meant to be. That's okay, and then she broke up with him.
Where's he from?
I think the Cleveland area.
Mm-hmm.
They have the words back and forth, or she just kind of like dumped him on text message?
Yeah, she dumped him over text. She was like, I found out, and she gave him a little bit to see if he'd tell her, and he never did.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, I kind of don't like that you never told me, so I just think we should end things now, because it's not going to work out, basically, type of thing.
Mm-hmm. So, if you talked about her anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
tell me more about that.
I think since high school, Cydney's been dealing with anxiety. Like I said, she doesn't deal with stress well, so she gets in like, if she's stressed about something, she kind of gets a little worked up over it. She went through a period in high school, in her junior year, where she just was like almost social anxiety. Like she didn't like to like talk to people other than like our friend group or go out to like restaurants or stores. Like she didn't want to talk to cashiers and stuff like that. We kind of helped her and pulled her out of it, and we kind of a girl, I think, well, she went to the counselor. So like Cydney went to the counselor, kind of talked about it, and it got better after that. Like senior year, she was more normal, I guess you could say. But I think junior year, she definitely struggled with it. And then in college, I think it got worse again, just because, like I said, she didn't know what she wanted to do, and I don't think her grades to were what she wanted them to be. So, like when she like was doing her grades and stuff, I think that kind of stressed her out, and that got her more upset when she couldn't figure out why she wasn't doing as well. I think.
Do you think that she talked to any counselors up there?
Mm-hmm. I don't think she talked to any counselors at Mount, because you'd have to go to the health center, which is across campus, and she never went there.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's, you mentioned that she was having problems with her grades. Did she ever talk to you about the university's feedback, like if she was on like probation or anything, or any official status that they changed with her? So you weren't aware of anything like that with her?
I know the reason I kind of found out is because in the sorority I got an executive position, or I was in a position to where I knew she couldn't do something because her grades, so she was academically for her grades in the sorority.
When would that have been?
That was
semester was?
that was last semester. I kind of found out about that because we have a thing called
Which would have been the fall,
yeah.
this past fall semester?
We have a thing called Big Little where like the older girls get a new girl and they kind of like their mentors, and she wasn't able to get one, I guess, because of her grades. So that's kind of when I found out because I was in a minor position then where I helped pick the Big Littles. So I was like the position. I kind of found out because of that.
And how did she react when she was, you know, when you talked to her about that? Or did you talk to her about it?
I didn't bring it up until I was just like, hey, I know you can't get a little, and they said it's because of your academics. Is there anything like you want to talk about? She's like, they just messed up my transcript. Like I didn't get as bad of grades. I'm like, I don't really think that happens, but yeah, that's what she told me, that they messed up her transcript. But then she came and told me the truth a little bit later that she did have bad grades.
And was that like this little thing, was that like towards the beginning of the semester or
More towards the middle to end.
towards the middle of the end? And that she did finally come forward and say that, you know, she was, did she mention specifically what her grades were? Just said that she was having some problems.
And how do you find out that it was all bad? How do you find out about that?
When it was like all the grades were pretty bad.
Yeah.
I never really found out what they were exactly. She told me that she was like.
In the end, the Cydney Powell case is not defined only by the brutality of the crime. It is defined by the moment denial finally gives way to reality. Lauren Curry entered that interview believing she was defending the person she knew, and walked out carrying a truth she was never prepared to face. What appeared to be a normal college life was quietly unraveling beneath the surface, shaped by deception, emotional instability, and a violence no one anticipated. And even as appeals move through the courts and the legal battle continues, one truth remains unchanged. A mother lost her life, and a best friend was left confronting the unimaginable. Because the most dangerous secrets are not always hidden in darkness. Sometimes they exist openly, unseen, unquestioned, and dangerously close.